Excuse me, who are you exactly? What are you doing in my tower? Did you wander in here on your own, or were you sent here to rob me of my fabled treasure? I gather by your attire that you're not from any region nearby. Where are you from, then? Asalora? Simvagard? Or are you one of those treacherous orcs from Ulshavir? No, you're far from the right color for an orc. Perhaps you're a mercenary? No. Not muscular enough for a Hovengalian mercenary. Though they are the nearest town from here. They're such a bother, the Hovengalians. Always sending their underwhelming and underqualified excuses for warriors to come claim what belongs to me. Terribly bothersome. But not you, traveler. I sense a different intention from you. I can smell it on you. Us dragons can smell intention from a mile away, you know. The longer that we converse, the more I've come to suspect that you are possibly here to seek shelter now that the sun has set. I would venture a guess that you're on a journey of some kind. Maybe just a wanderer. Someone in search of adventure. Treasure? Glory? Or what? What is it that you're looking for, traveler? Knowledge, maybe? What is the intention of your travels? I can assure you that nothing you should find contained within these walls is what you seek. I sense that you don't seem to have a certain goal in mind. Perhaps it is just the thrill of adventure that you seek? Why then is it that I see a look of apprehension in your eye? Or is it fear? Admiration? Such a curious beast you are, traveler. And here I thought that I was the monster. But no. No, 'tis not I who is the monster. The monster dwells within you, I see. An unrest. Is it possible that you've taken this journey to discover yourself and to grapple with the monster within? Perhaps you've ventured this far on a quest to prove not only to others, but also to yourself, that you're not the monster that you feel dwelling deep within you. Please, no need to be defensive. We are friends here, traveler. Should I have had any reason for concern after gaining better understanding of your scent and intentions, I would have simply disposed of you by now. My conversation is simply my way of showing hospitality to friendly guests. I do not have guests in lieu of intruders often, you see. So please, relax. I'm allowing you to stay in my tower as a refuge from the unforgiving Temilorian night. Kindly do me the courtesy of releasing the handle of your blade. You've tensely had it in your grasp since the beginning of this encounter. Don't think I didn't notice. It's Aidon's blade of Torpor, no less. Not the kind of weapon I would have expected from a traveler like yourself to carry on their person. Is it possible that it was a gift from someone? Actually, now that I think more of it, it suits you. It's a fitting weapon for someone who is unsure of their true capacity for violence. It gives the wielder the option of putting an opponent to sleep rather than killing them, but only once a cycle of the moon. Perfect for the unsure traveler who prefers peace and doesn't find themselves frequently in combat. Do you know of the owner Aidon, traveler? Did the one who gifted the blade to you regale you of who he was? No? How unfortunate. I have walked this earth for thousands of years, traveler. And in all of my thousands of years, I have not met a soul as gentle but determined as Aidon. He was a good friend to me, you see. He would often come and visit me here in this tower. He was a tall and slender thing. Curly chestnut hair and eyes gold like the crown of the 5 kings. He did not partake in the training rituals of the mercenaries. Instead, he preferred to use his words and gentle nature to fall any adversary he should cross. Which wasn't many, as you might imagine. When he first came to me in the tower, he was a lot like you, traveler. He was on a journey, seeking something very personal to him. It was the dead of winter, and given the harshness of the Temilorian snow, he sought refuge within my tower, much as you do now. The clamor he made as he entered these halls woke me from my slumber, as dragons sleep much of the winter. As soon as I confronted him, I felt, well, a peace, traveler. Never before have I been in the presence of such a gentle soul, so pure and so kind. He immediately begged for forgiveness on the intrusion and, seeing that he was unarmed, I began to speak with him, much like I speak to you now. With him, he carried a lute, but he would not fancy himself a bard nor a warrior. He offered to play me a song and I readily welcomed it. It had been many years since my dragon ears had been graced by the gift of music. He softly lulled me back to sleep, and had his intentions been foul, well, I likely wouldn't be here now regaling you this encounter. When I woke, Aidon was still here, sleeping peacefully near a fire he had made in that very fireplace. As he slept, I felt a stirring in my heart. I waited many hours for him to wake. Finally, he rose and I greeted him. We talked for many hours into the light of the winter day. Truly, I thought, he was the kindest person I had ever met. But as the hours passed, he regretfully told me that the time had come for his journey to move onward to his next destination, but that he would come and visit me often. Surely, I thought, such an innocent traveler as him would be attacked or killed by those less pure of intentions. My heart broke at the thought of him not being able to return to me again. The thought that I would never hear his soft honeyed voice or be lulled again to sleep by his song. So I asked him to wait, right where you stand, and I flew off to the highest reach of my tower where no mortal man has stepped foot since it became my home. I returned with that very dagger that rests in your sheath now. It was a gift that I had been given by a priestess of Isnomea many moons before. Its blessed blade and beautiful ivory handle made a gorgeous addition to my collection. However, as a dragon I had no use for it in combat. Knowing the nature of the blessing on the blade, I thought it a perfect choice of protection for Aidon. He nearly refused my gift, as he sought to never engage in violence if given the opportunity. He also nearly refused my gift, for he felt it selfish of him to accept a gift when he had nothing to offer in return. I advised him of its abilities and told him that it was his to keep for as long as he would visit me here in this tower and play me his songs whenever his path should cross this way. He gave me a warm smile and took that very dagger that you have now, leaving me to venture out into the world. But Aidon was a man of his word, and surely he did keep his side of the bargain. Once every winter I would find him standing in my tower as you stand now, his familiar warm smile and snowflake-covered chestnut curls. And suddenly it felt as if he had never left. He would bring me trinkets and treasures from the different places that he had roamed, as a sign of gratitude of the many times he would come to need that very dagger to protect himself without taking a life. They gathered over the many years, nearly doubling the treasure that I had already acquired. But the gifts that he brought me were nothing in comparison to the gifts of his company. As the years went on, to my surprise he never married. No wife, no children, nothing to his name aside from the stories that people would tell of him for years to come. Of his kindness, his gentleness, and his never-ending quest. I never pressed him for more details of the nature of his journey, other than accepting that he told me that he would know what he was looking for once he found it. The last time he walked through these doors, he was an old man. Those chestnut-colored curls were the color of the winter snow, but the warmness in those golden eyes was there as it had been for all the many years before. I could sense that he wasn't long for this world, and as he laid his head in my lap, I asked him why, out of all the places he could choose, why he would come to my tower to spend his last days. He laughed and told me that he needed to come here to make peace with me before he drew his last breath. I asked him what he could possibly mean, as he had never wronged me in the slightest. He told me that he had given the dagger that I had gifted him away to someone who would need it much more than he. He felt that it was rude of him and that he owed me an apology, but also that he wanted to fulfill his promise to me to visit whenever his path would cross my tower. I asked him, as I did many times in the past, how his journey had led him back here once again, to which he responded that this tower was not a stopping point, but always the destination of his travels. In the many years that he would wander far and wide, he would not happen upon Tamalor, upon my tower, but instead he would always end each adventure here, with me, to play me songs and to regale me of stories of his many trips and bring me gifts. I asked him, then, what was his quest if it always ended here at my tower? To which he told me that from the beginning his quest was to find somewhere that he belonged. He drew his last breath and I watched those golden eyes close for the last time, realizing only then that out of every treasure in my collection, none were so great as my time with Aidon. I do miss him. Every winter when the snow falls, I still find myself expecting to see him standing in that very spot, that very dagger fixed to his waist. So you can imagine my surprise upon seeing it now after all these years, carried by someone whose journey is very similar to his. I hope you protect it well, traveler, and I hope that you should never find yourself in need of its use. I will let you rest now, and likely you'll be gone in the morning. So, before you leave, I have something that I want to give you. Here. Aidon had given me this the first time that he returned to my tower. This golden ruby ring is the sort worn by the priests of Galamirth. He was given it as a gift for aiding in the repair of their temple many, many centuries ago. Wear it, and you will be granted the blessing of Galamirth, the god of candor. It is said that the blessing will give you the discernment of lies amongst truths. I hope that it serves you well. I have no need of it myself, given my dragon's gifts of sense and intuition. I trust that the dagger has found its way to you for a reason, and as such, just as Aidon, you are welcome to visit here whenever your journey should lead you my way. Sleep well, traveler.